All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Merrill. I am the Director of Housing and Residential Education, and I use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Kendra Stokes. I'm the Associate Director of Housing Operations here at Emerson.
So a little bit about housing and residential education. Just HRE for short, at a glance. We have just over or just shy of 2,600 beds on campus, and just over 1,000 of those are for our first year students and are located in Little Building. The rest of those bed spaces are for upper class students and spread across four other residence halls. We do have 5 residence halls on campus. And to oversee those residence halls, we have 7 residence directors. These are full-time staff members that live on campus and support those communities. And so they oversee each of those communities. And with that, they supervise resident assistants and international student peer mentors. We do have 82 resident assistants and 5 international student peer mentors on campus. Resident assistants and international student peer mentors are both students, staff members. And so these are other Emerson students that are here to support students while they are living in the residence halls. And so whether that is academic resources or just kind of answering questions, building community, but really being a support for that. International student peer mentors specifically work with our international students as they transition to Emerson's campus. Next slide. And so just a little bit about what HRE does. We do a number of different things within our department. We work towards building community within the residence halls. And so, like I said, those RAs, ISPMs really work to plan different events, connect with students. You'll see bulletin boards, newsletters, all coming out from your residence hall staff, sharing resources and supports. And so they can be your first stop and your first question to check in to find out how to connect with the other campus resources that you're going to learn about today, or all over campus. Community safety and security. So we have the staff, we have on-call staff. Sorry. We have on-call staff that live-in staff, and they really are there to support the community. They address roommate conflicts and living concerns. And then also because we house students, we do a lot with the housing selection, room assignments. That's really Kendra's whole wheelhouse, spends a lot of time investment in working towards that. Next slide. So a bit about Little Building, as that is where really the majority of you are going to live. And so because Little Building houses all of our first year population, as well as majority of our first year transfer students that decide to live on campus, the building holds up to 1,035 students. There's 13 floors, 33 resident assistants, and all of those international student peer mentors, as well as 3 residence directors, that professional staff, all support that community. For as far as housing types go, there are doubles and triples. That is the majority of the room types in Little Building. So you should anticipate a double or a triple style room. There are very limited singles, and then there are also some limited suites, which is a combo of a double, single, triple with a private bathroom. You can't request these, they're random assignment, but know that they do exist. Again, it houses the entire first year class and based on space, all of our incoming transfer students. There are communal bathrooms for each gender and then 1 gender-free private bathroom on each floor as well. As far as housing assignment timeline, the application is open through June 14th. So that is when we really need to make sure that we have those applications in. The application can be edited as much as you need or want until that date. Roommate groupings will take priority over other requests. And so if you are looking to live with a friend and you've put that friend on your housing application, that will supersede you saying that you want to live in a single or anything like that. But so just note as you're doing those edits that if you put any roommate groupings, that's the first thing that we're going to look at. Student accessibility services priority date is also June 14th. And then once that application closes, our team is going to start pulling all of that data and begin making those assignments. So that way you can get your housing assignment by mid-July. And that's going to come to you via Emerson email. I'm actually going to let Kendra talk through the assignment matching and placement.
Sure thing. Alrighty, so one of the main parts of the housing application is the lifestyle questionnaire. There's a lot of questions regarding how you decide to live on campus. And whether you smoke, don't smoke, you stay up late, you go to bed early, you're clean, all of those things. This is very important that you are truthful as to how you live in this moment in time. This is not how I hope to live at college. If you are messy now, embrace it. Let us know you're messy. There's nothing wrong with that, but we should know about that as we go ahead and do placements. So please be truthful and true to yourself in who you are in the lifestyle questionnaire. Also, when going through this, you have the opportunity to make a roommate matching group, a pair or a trio if you're hoping to live in a triple together. Please have this be someone you know in real life, not someone you met on social media. And we do this because our lifestyle questionnaire gets to the root of sort of things you are looking at in regards to living on campus and living together as a good roommate. A roommate is not always a best friend. Oftentimes, when you are searching on social media for someone you may want to live with, you're talking more surface level things such as your favorite music, your favorite food, what clothing you like, not necessarily the things that we in housing often see as the roommate issues. So please, we really say if you would like to choose a roommate match, please get to the root of those things and have it be someone you know in real life. If not, let us do the matching. We do the vast majority of the matching, and then at least you have someone to blame if you don't like your roommate. We hope, and we spend a lot of time hoping that you get a roommate that is going to be successful with you. And we do take our time in doing these matches, which is why it closes in June, and you won't hear back from us until in July. So please know that, and I can't say enough of what Danielle said earlier. If you put a roommate match, that is going to supersede everything else you do. So if you said that I want to live with this person, but I also want a single, we're not going to look at your single request. We're automatically going to look at the roommate match because that is what you had placed down as a priority.
And then just some important dates to know as we kind of start thinking about arrival is that if you are participating in a pre-orientation, which I believe orientation will likely talk about a little bit more, the move-in date for that is Sunday, August 25th. And this is truly the earliest a student can arrive as a first-year student. And then if you are not participating in a pre-orientation, move-in day is Tuesday, August 27th, and we'll have time slots from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And those time slots are going to be assigned based on your room assignment. And so you'll get that information as we get a little bit closer to July when you get that room assignment.
Great. Welcome. My name is Audra Bowden-Kenny, and I am the Associate Dean of Academic Advising at Emerson. And I oversee a team of 7 professional advisors who offer academic support, consult, advice, and provide long-term planning to the entire undergraduate student population. So upon matriculation, students will be assigned to a professional advisor, and you'll have the opportunity to meet with that advisor during orientation. There are some student populations that are actually assigned to a faculty advisor from the start, and that would be our performing arts students. And then our honors students are also working with the honors program director, who is a faculty advisor. But whether you're paired with a faculty advisor, we will always serve as a backup support to that faculty advisor. So any student can utilize our office, our services throughout their entire time at Emerson. We do have a dual model of advising. So as students approach their junior year, they then will transition from a professional advisor to a faculty advisor within their academic department. So that faculty advisor is going to serve more as a mentor, a content expert. So as students delve deeper into their major curriculum, they're going to be working with a faculty advisor to plan those final 2 years and to start thinking about life post-Emerson and working with someone who is specialized and who is in the industry that you are looking to pursue. I want to now transition to the slide that will show you where you should be at in terms of next steps within your admission portal. So right now, all advising related checklist items are available to you. So both first year and transfer students will be expected to review and sign off on what is called a student agreement, which just provides information about standard terms, conditions, and policies associated with your enrollment. This is due as soon as possible because this is then going to clear you for registration. In this student agreement, you're going to have to sign off every semester ahead of course registration. For first-year students, you have access to what's called a course registration form. So this is your opportunity to make your selections in terms of which liberal arts classes you find most interesting. So select as many as you want. And this is going to then guide us in terms of creating a schedule for you. So my team works throughout the entire summer to register all first years for their fall semester coursework. So that's going to be based on this form, your course preferences, the required coursework for first year students. So a typical first semester load is going to be a total of 4 classes. They are each weighted at 4 credits each. So you're taking a total of 16 credits. That is the typical full-time load. So it's going to be comprised of your prescribed introductory major requirements, your first year introductory writing requirement, and then we're going to be rounding that out with those liberal arts classes that you selected on that course registration form. And that is due as soon as possible. On that form, there's also going to be an intake. So we want you to share with us your academic history in terms of what else might be pending that you plan to transfer into Emerson, whether that's AP and IB exams, if you were potentially dual enrolled at a local institution and you plan on bringing in transfer credits. We want to know what AP exams that you have earned a 4 or 5 on. Some of those exams might be pending those scores. That's okay. Just list everything. And then grades of C or better from college transcripts would need to be sent to undergraduate admission. So this is your opportunity to just share everything so that we can make sure that we are putting you into classes that you won't be fulfilling with AP or college transfer credit. And then this intake form will also have space for you to share any additional information that may be impacting your fall schedule. So for instance, if you're going to be a student athlete, we want to make sure we are working around those practice games and time schedules, or if you're looking to maybe be a part-time student, just an opportunity for you to share any information up front so that we can create a schedule that's going to best meet your needs and set you up for success. And then fall schedules are going to be released to students in early August. No schedule changes can be made at that time. We want you to meet with your advisor during orientation to learn about the online add drop process, which you'll have access to at the conclusion of that orientation meeting. And then the entire academic advising team will be available for support. We will be offering all-day walk-in hours throughout the first week of classes, which is called the add drop period. Looking at transfer students, you will have a checklist item if it's applicable to you. If it has been identified that you have any potential major related coursework that needs to be further reviewed by the academic department for potential Emerson major equivalencies. So there will be a portal where you can upload course syllabi that will then be shared with the appropriate major department, and any equivalencies will then be communicated to the registrar and our transfer advisor. And again, making sure you send along score reports from College Board and transcripts with final grades to undergraduate admission, so we can get all of those credits applied to your student record. Transfers will also have an intake form that they will need to fill out prior to scheduling their virtual course registration meeting with our transfer advisor. So again, the transfer advisor wants to get as much information from you regarding your liberal arts preferences, your major interests, because your scheduling is going to require an individual meeting based on the academic history and your potential anticipated timeline, and ensuring that you are placed into the appropriate classes for your first semester to meet those particular timeline and markers. And then again, fall schedules will be released to you as well in early August with that backup support during the first week of classes for walk-in hours. If you have any questions about the course registration process, we have provided to you an FAQ. That's a PDF that should be weaved into all of these course registration materials. Those are going to address a lot of questions about the process. So make sure you read through that. And if you have any further questions, our contact information is highlighted at the bottom of this slide. You can reach out to our email address or phone, and we are happy to assist.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Emerson. My name is Erin Glover, and I am the Interim Director for Student Accessibility Services. So our office works with students who have a diagnosed disability and are interested in receiving accommodations at the college level. And students must self-identify to our office and make a request for accommodations, which I'll talk about in a second. Students may have had an IEP or a 504 plan, and it's important to know that those don't automatically transfer from high school. So you do have to take that step of self-advocacy and self-identifying to our office to start the process. And we also have students who may choose to pursue accommodations in college for the first time. Maybe it's because they have a newer diagnosis and they chose not to pursue accommodations in high school. Or maybe a diagnosis comes up during your time at Emerson, and it's good to know our office exists for that support if needed. So our office works with a wide range of diagnoses. So that might be a learning disability such as dyslexia, ADHD, psychological diagnoses, depression, anxiety, or other mental health disabilities. We have students who have physical or mobility needs, chronic health conditions, students who are on the autism spectrum disorder, and students with vision and hearing impairments. So our office has a three-step process. Students would complete a request form. They would also be asked to submit documentation in support of their disability, and that would be dependent on your diagnosis. So it would maybe look like an evaluation that was done, either a psychoeducational or neuropsychological evaluation, if it's ADHD or a learning disability, or a letter from a treating provider if it's a chronic health condition or a mental health diagnosis. So that could be your therapist, a psychiatrist, a primary care provider who prescribes medication, or other specialist. And then we round that out with a meeting with a staff member as part of our interactive process. We call that our interview, and that's an opportunity for us to get to meet you, to talk about your diagnosis and your needs at Emerson, and then be able to educate you on our process and how to actually activate those accommodations once you're here. And so information about all of this can be found on our website, or we encourage you to email us at sas@emerson.edu and we'll guide you through the steps. Accommodations are always individualized to the student, so this is not a guarantee of what you might receive if you were to work with our office, but some common examples for academic accommodations include extended time for exams, a distraction-reduced environment for exams, being able to use a laptop to take notes in class, which most professors do allow, but some will want an accommodation to permit that. There may be students who need accessible texts or materials, breaks from class, and some leniency with attendance or deadlines, or both. And then, as Danielle and Kendra mentioned before, we do work with students for housing accommodations, and so those might be some room occupancy limits. Maybe it's a student who does need a single, or we might find students need no larger than a double because we do have a significant number of triples in Little Building. It may be that a student needs a room within a suite, and accessible features comes up, and then sometimes in upper level housing, students might need to be more centrally located. So students can contact SAS as soon as they commit to attending Emerson. So once you have officially decided you're coming, which I believe you have, you can reach out to our office, but we are available at any point over the summer. So there's no rush for academic accommodations. It is a rolling process, and so there is not a deadline. But there is a deadline for on-time housing requests, which is approaching, and that is June 14th. So if you are thinking about a housing accommodation and or have questions, we do encourage you to reach out to us very soon so we can provide information and start working with you. And really, our staff is available all summer long. So, if you're doing end of year activities and you're just looking for academic accommodations, enjoy those and reach out to us. We just really want to get you up and running before you step foot on campus. So it's one less thing to do before you get here. And so I oversee a team of 4 other professional staff members. Myself, Matt, and Kaylin would be working directly with students for accommodations and that registration process, as well as being a resource and support during your time here. We have Jordy, who focuses on student engagement, really with a lens of accessibility. And then Morgan, who coordinates all of our logistical accommodations. So if you had exam accommodations, a peer note taker, we have ASL interpreters at times. And so Morgan does all of the logistics. And so, like I said, we're available to guide you through the process and answer questions. Feel free to check out our website for detailed information. Contact us either via email or by phone. Follow us on Instagram. And when you do come to campus, we're in the Union Bank building at 216 Tremont Street on the 5th floor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Viveros, and I am the Associate Director of the Health Services, also part of the Emerson Wellness Center. I am a nurse practitioner, and I'm here to represent the Emerson Wellness Center today as a whole entity. The center is comprised of the counseling, health services, and the health and wellness promotion and community engagement departments. We've integrated in the past year or so, which has been great, providing like holistic care for students. And we're excited to have you all come and join us in the fall. We are located around the corner from the major dorm, the Little Building, at the Union Bank building, which is the street address is 216 Tremont Street. We are divided on the 2nd and 3rd floor. We have counseling on the 2nd floor and health services on the 3rd floor. We're about I would say, a 5 to 10 minute walk from most campus dorms in the Boston area. We are open weekdays, closed on the weekends and holidays. We do have an after hours nurse triage service that's available to support students. And we also have a 24 hours, 7-day a week mental health service called You Will, which offers anything from an urgent to non-urgent counseling services for students that are active on campus. The center overall, we're here to help students navigate their overall wellness while they're participating in their academia at Emerson. We're there for anything from the colds and coughs that everybody will get, unfortunately, to help navigate concerns of anxiety or stress, depression, help manage some medications. We can help support with refills and referrals into the area, STI testing, birth control and hormone replacement therapy. We offer urgent care visits. We also do nutrition and wellness support, as well as physicals. And of course, we do have immunizations to offer students, which is very important as well. I have added the website to the chat there. So if anyone you can open up to our website and get some much more information. I will also send you the phone number and the email address as well for the health services. In terms of next steps, like the most important thing I would say at this point is to familiarize yourself with the student health portal. You should have received some introductory emails from the school providing access to all these different departments. And one of us is the Emerson Wellness Center, and the student health portal link should be embedded in there as well. And you will get some intermittent emails also from our department directly throughout the summer, because we're actively and diligently working on managing all of the health forms and the immunization requirements that are needed and should be due by July 15th prior to coming on campus. And this is to ensure the overall well-being and health of the student population. It's a small confined area. We want to make sure that everybody is healthy and vaccinated and that we're all taking good care of ourselves. So if you have any questions about any of what I'm saying and you're concerned, you're not really sure what I'm talking about, by all means, don't hesitate to give us an email. We're healthservices@emerson.edu. You can also call the office and go to the student health portal, because I personally have started sending out messaging saying reminders to start inputting this information so we can make sure that it gets done before you arrive on campus, and to minimize any sort of disruption and any other registration, etc. So please do contact us. We do have the ability to communicate via regular email, but also through secure messaging in our student health portal, which is private, and more medical information could be shared there without any concern of any sort of privacy issues. So if you have any other questions, please let us know at the end of this session. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jade Carter-Smalley, and I'm the Assistant Director of Student Success, Access, and Belonging. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, what is student success? Our office houses a lot of different things, and we do a lot of different things. My division, specifically Access and Belonging, we do a lot of things that are associated with food access initiatives. So we have a student pantry, which a lot of students use. It's right on campus. It's in Walker Building, which is also where our office is, which is close to the dorms. So sometimes students, they're just hungry during the day and they pop in for a snack. And that is how we kind of help students that maybe don't have time to go to the grocery store, maybe don't have the means to go to the grocery store. We also get some donations from a few, Tate is one of them, and then Roche Brothers. So we get food and kind of like treats. So people also stop in our office to get those. We also have a student assistant fund, which is an emergency fund that helps students if they have some emergency that comes up, and say their laptop broke or they're going through something and they need help. We can give them some money to maybe fix their laptop. And that is a big part of what our office does. Kind of, we are a triage unit that helps students when they are in need. We also run first gen low income support and programs. So we have first gen Fridays once a month to support any student that is first gen, which can be considered anyone whose parents didn't go to a university. We also have a Men of Color community group. And one of the main things that I do is I run a scholarship program. It's called Creative Scholars. So if there's any creative scholars on here, I hope so. You will meet me and we will work together for your whole matriculation through Emerson. I'm going to turn it over to Seth, who is also a part of Student Success with me.
Great. Thank you so much, Jade. Hi, everyone. My name is Seth Grew, and I am the Director of Foundations of Success within the Office of Student Success. And so I work with a course called Immersion Foundations of Success. And many of you may have heard about this already. Immersion offers this free 1-credit class to all first-year students that is designed to support students as they transition to Emerson. And in this course meets twice a week for 7 weeks. Students can choose to take it remotely over the summer or in the fall alongside of their other classes. This class is not a rigorous class. It covers information such as academic success, such as financial wellness, and personal identity, and also identifying your own personal strengths and how to use them to accomplish your goals. So we have learned that over 90% of the students who have taken this class over the summer believed it helped them with their transition into their first semester. And so we've actually extended the deadline to register for a summer section of Immersion. And we've extended that deadline to June 16th. So you can go to your student portal, and right there within your student checklist, you can go ahead and register for a summer section of Immersion. Summer immersion runs from July 9th through August 21st. And it, as I said, it meets twice a week, once on Tuesdays and once on Thursdays. And if you register, you'll be able to select the time that you can take the class. So just make sure that if you're interested in that, go ahead to your student portal and you can register for that. If you are a transfer student and you're looking for a course that may assist with your transition to Emerson, feel free to go ahead and email the Office of Student Success, and you can contact the Office of Student Success at studentsuccess@emerson.edu. And feel free to contact us and go ahead and let us know that you would like to take immersion. And we, for transfer students, we have a space available basis for that. And so thank you very much for allowing me to be here. And then I'll be around and if you have any other questions.
Hi, Desiree. Apologies, you're actually muted.
Thank you so much for catching that. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Let's try this again. My name is Desiree Baker. I'm the Associate Director for Student Transitions at Emerson College. I see a lot of questions in the chat already about orientation, so I'm excited to answer some of those for you. I've already put into the chat the postcard. If you went to one of our Picture Yourself at Emerson days, you might have picked up one of these and it's already on your fridge, which is amazing. If not, feel free to download it from the chat or screenshot what's right here. Pre-orientation is for our international students and our BIPOC students. So this is an optional pre-orientation for those who want to get connected a little bit early on campus. So move-in day for pre-orientation for both international and BIPOC pre-orientation students will be on August 25th. These programs give students an opportunity to move in early, learn about on and off campus resources, meet other students, and start to build a community here at Emerson before the full first-time orientation begins. So again, this is optional, opt-in only, and you can register right on your admissions portal when it opens up. It will open up, you'll receive an email in the next couple weeks from New Student Orientation letting you know that the orientation registration is live. This is for all new students, for pre-orientation, for parent orientation, and for transfer students. So our new student move-in for the greater class will be on August 27th, like housing and residential education mentioned, and our big orientation program will run all day through August 28th through September 3rd. Our goals through that are going to help get you connected with advising, with your majors, with your department chairs, as well as really fun events. We usually have a keynote speaker. We also have social events for you to meet other students on campus. So it's a really fun time just to get to know Emerson before the rest of the students arrive to campus. Parent and family orientation is also on August 28th, so that is the first day. Most parents, if they do want to attend parent and family orientation, will just stay the night somewhere in Boston. It's best to probably book that early because those can fill up pretty quickly. And then they usually go to the parent and family orientation on the morning of August 28th, and it will conclude by 1 p.m. Then we will have between noon and 1 a big goodbye between all of the students and the parents and families, and then 1 p.m. we'll start the new student program on August 28th. September 4th is our first day of classes, so you can expect that through that weekend we'll also have social events and we'll be able to offer 100 orientation leaders to help onboard you to campus and make you feel comfortable. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Next slide. Just a couple other pieces. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to orientation@emerson.edu. You can also keep an eye out for invites from the orientation team. We have 6 orientation coordinators who are already on campus planning orientation and preparing for your arrival. If you want to stay in contact with us, we have 2 Instagrams. One is our Emerson Orientation main page that will update you about all things orientation and connect you with campus resources. EC class of 2028, some of you might have noticed that there are Instagram accounts out there asking you for $5 to submit a bio. Please don't do that. You can actually just do it for free on ours. Our students did just join us early this week, so that will get up and running now that they're here and am able to manage the page. So yes, you can follow Emerson Orientation and EC class of 2028. Otherwise, again, you'll hear from us really soon, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.
All right, thank you to all of our wonderful staff members for all that information. You are all welcome to join me back on screen now, if you would, because we're going to get to some questions. I think what we're going to do is maybe kind of work backwards. So there are a couple lingering orientation / really housing questions, largely related to move-in. When folks get that assigned move-in time, can you guys just talk a bit about how long families have to move in and what that process generally looks like?
Sure, we'd love to. So your student, when they get their housing assignment, will receive their move-in time. The move-in time slot is a 30-minute window. That is when you should plan to arrive to campus, to then get in the car queue to get into the building. So the way it works is if you arrive around then, you'll get into the building around then is the goal. And so we ask that you stick to your time. If you're assigned 11 a.m., please do not come at 9 a.m. We would like to see you at 11. We ask that you stick to your window of time so that we can proceed through. You will get ample amount of communication on how the move-in process works. So please wait and review that with your loved ones, share with whoever's coming with you. We are a well-oiled machine when it comes to the move-in process. If you follow our directions, we promise you it will be a smooth experience. You just need to follow the directions, which is really, really hard when you're so excited to be here. But I promise you, if you follow everything that we've sent an email leading up to it, you'll be in good shape. If you get your move-in time and you're like, oh, geez, my flight doesn't come in until 2 in the afternoon, but I got an 11 o'clock move-in time, what do I do? You'll have the ability to adjust your move-in time during a set of time over the summer. It usually happens in the month of July. You'll be able to go on your housing portal and adjust as needed.
Great, thank you. And the other very popular question is about the boxes. Now it seems like a lot of people have heard about these, but maybe not everyone has. So could you guys just talk for a moment about the process of being able to send some things early to campus by shipping them? The key questions seem to be how many, what size can they be, and when should people send them?
Yeah, so we're going to send more information about this as well, but you're not going to want to ship anything until you get your housing assignment. So that'll be the first step. So once you get your housing assignment, it'll include your mailing address as well as information about shipping boxes. But so from about mid-July until early August, you'll be able to ship up to 4 large boxes. Now, we don't put specific dimensions on those. And so if you've got a lot of little small things coming from Target, wherever, then send them home, repackage them into a big box and ship them that way. But you can do up to 4 boxes, and then those will be placed into your room as long as they are received by the deadline that will be communicating out, which is the early August. And then that they'll be placed in your room ready to go for you and your arrival. And so again, 4 boxes, not super specific. They shouldn't be the size of, like, you know, a human person, but maybe, like, you know, otherwise it can be pretty good size.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be able to lift them for us.
Yeah. And if it's too large for them, they will leave you a note. Like you'll get an email to say to pick it up at the mailroom, which is also located in the little building.
Hi, sorry about that. My computer's not cooperating today. All right. I'm going to ask the questions that I recover here because that's going to take me a moment now. Can we also talk a little bit about there's a couple folks asking about being an RA, and that's not really a process that happens now, but can you quickly talk about when that would occur just so folks have a reference?
So you have to have sophomore standing to be an RA. And so that means that you can apply within your first year. Applications for RA typically come out in the fall semester. So you'll keep an eye out for those usually in about October. We'll have lots and lots of information that comes out about that, but then you can apply to be an RA or an international student peer mentor for your second year at Emerson. But talk to your RA or ISPM if you are interested, and they will give you all of the information.
Excellent, thank you. If you noticed your question just disappear from the Q&A, do not worry, I still have them. It's just because I accidentally was booted from the meeting, but I still have the questions, so don't worry, we're getting to them. Lisa, can you talk a little bit about the health insurance that students are offered? Not only if you know anything, a little bit about what it looks like, but also does it cover things in the wellness center? And how does that kind of get handled?
Certainly, no problem. So we have Emerson offers the Blue Cross Blue Shield as an option for students. It's called the Student Health Insurance Plan. And the students basically have that option. However, most students do come and are enrolled under their parents' plan. In terms of insurance and the Emerson Wellness Center, our services are basically free with the caveat that if we do send students to another location to pick up prescriptions like a pharmacy, if we draw blood work at the clinic and send it to Quest Lab, then those locations are now processing those items through the insurance. However, the services we provide internally are free. That's actually, well, it's part of the student fee. It's all embedded in the cost of coming to the college. There also immunizations are offered at the center as well. Anyone who has the Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance through Emerson, that's basically like a no cost to the student. We process it through the insurance. If someone's coming in and using their an insurance that is from like another guardian parent subscriber, then there could be a fee that is applied to the actual account, like the student account. However, the student can turn around and then we provide a receipt and then you can resubmit it to your insurance because we don't bill. So that is the reason. So the student has to kind of take it upon themselves to submit the billing themselves. But overall, it's a free service.
Great. And could you just speak for a moment about what types of providers there are in the Wellness Center? We specifically had a question about a nutritionist, but could you just briefly kind of flash through who's there?
Absolutely. So in the counseling area, we have mental health providers that are there. So that we have some social workers, some licensed mental health clinicians as well. And up in the health services side, we're staffed with nurse practitioners. We have a nurse and we have a nutritionist. On the wellness side, we have a health and wellness promotion educator. And we also collaborate with some external clinicians. Like we have a nurse practitioner that we collaborate with that helps support prescribe medications more for the stimulants and things of that nature. And we do collaborate with other locations such as Tufts Medical Center, a consulting physician that we collaborate with for any additional needs that may need to be referred over there as well.
Great, thank you. Seth, there's a couple of immersion questions. I think you had mentioned that perhaps some more slots had been opened up in the summer sessions. If folks are having trouble maybe accessing that, is there a best way to get in touch about registering for that?
Sure. So the summer, we have opened up additional sections over the summer. All the sections in the summer are remote. And so you won't have to be on campus or travel to a campus. And I can put in the chat a link that will allow people to re-register. If you've already registered through your student portal, you wouldn't be able to change your registration through the summer portal, but you could go and email student success at emerson.edu, and we'll give you the link to go ahead and register for a summer section.
Great. And there is always a little bit of confusion about this, and I think you mentioned it, but it bears highlighting. Is the immersion class required?
That's a great question. It is not required. It is highly recommended because we know that students appreciates all the information they receive from it. It's not required for graduation. If you don't sign up for a summer section, we will enroll you in a fall section, and we highly encourage you to complete the course. It's only 7 weeks. It's not a very rigorous course, and there's not a lot of work outside of the class, and you get a free credit.
Really, the bottom line is do the immersion class. I've never talked to any student who didn't like it once they did it.
Yes.
And when will folks find out which session they're in? If they applied for summer, when will they hear about that?
If they applied for summer, by this weekend, I will email them next week confirming that. If they apply before the 16th, and after this weekend, they will hear from their summer immersion facilitator, the last week in June.
Great, thank you. We're coming towards the end here. I know we have a bunch of questions left, so we will get to them, don't worry. I realized that in asking the insurance question, I forgot one crucial point, which is then everyone asks if they can waive the insurance requirement. So Lisa, feel free to expand upon this if you want to, but the general answer is yes. If you have insurance that will cover your student in the state of Massachusetts, there will be a process where you will be able to apply through the provider of it to have the Emerson one removed from your billing statement, essentially. So that will be something you'll be able to do, I think, a little bit later. I don't know if you happen to know when that's available, Lisa. I'm not sure that it is quite yet.
Yeah, so the waiver deadline is September 17th for fall and January 27th. I'm going to drop the University Health Plan website link into the chat.
Thank you. Desiree, a couple additional orientation questions, if you don't mind. Is the parent orientation on August 28th different from the parent orientation that was held on Admitted Students Day on April 6th? And actually, if I can add something, is it also different from, there's kind of a virtual series that'll go through the summer that Maureen Hurley's running? A lot of the parents may know her by now. What's the difference?
Yes, so we have 3 different kind of things that we're talking about here. We had the picture yourself at Emerson Day, where parent and family orientation got to connect with our incoming families. We also have our summer virtual series. So parent and family orientation actually manages having a bunch of kind of similar to this departments and resources to talk to you about how they can help you and your student, what to expect this fall, everything from housing and residential education and some of the nuts and bolts down to orientation and everyone on this call in just different ways. So we will continue to host those. Maureen will be sending out that to parent and family emails this week. So you should be getting more information soon about those. And then the one on August 28th is a in-person session that is in the Cutler Majestic. And if you do decide to come, I feel like that's a payoff in and of itself because it's the most gorgeous theater. It is our best theater in my opinion. Yeah, it's just a gorgeous place to be. So parent and family orientation in person is actually a mix of skits and more experience-based, where Maureen talks about some of the things that you and your student might experience over the fall semester and the first year at Emerson. So everything from homesickness to I don't get along with my roommate, what should I do? And it's a little bit of a tearjerker, but it's really worth it. So we hope to see you there.
I think identifying a favorite theater on Emerson's campus is a little bit of fighting words, but we'll
It really is.
that one. Yeah. And for there was a couple folks who were asking if they aren't already receiving the emails. If you're a parent or family member and you're not getting emails from us, make sure to have your student check in with, I think probably the admission office is still the best place to do that. We can add your email or update your email on your student's profile, and that way you should start getting all of the emails that we've been sending out, and you can kind of keep up to date with things that are going on with your student and that are for you specifically as well. All right, getting to the last couple questions here. Daniela or Kendra, would you mind just talking briefly about what meal plans look like on Emerson's campus, what those options are?
I will be honest, I will need to look them up because we default to meal plan A. So every residential student has to have a meal plan on campus. There's no option to not have a meal plan while you resided within the hall. So students all default to meal plan A, and you cannot make any adjustments until the first day of classes, not your first day of arrival to campus, first day of classes. And then you have a 2-week period to adjust it to B, C, or D, which I do not know what is included in each one of those. Thank you, Maddie, for linking them in the chat. With that being said, we highly recommend you go through your first full week of classes before you make adjustments. The first full week is the busiest in the dining hall. You'll notice that it's extremely busy in 2 places on campus of your residential, the bathrooms within your residence hall and the dining hall. And after the first week, both of those get extremely less busy at heightened periods of times. And the reasons why is because everyone's trying to feel out their schedule. They're getting up early, using the bathrooms, and it's really busy in the community restrooms. And then in the dining hall, everyone's going to eat to meet people and getting connected. And so everyone's flocking to those spaces. After that, feel free to make adjustments once you have your schedule down. But that's why we do not allow adjustments until classes begin. And then it's a 2-week period and you adjust it on your housing portal.
Can I just add something about the meal plan? I was just going to mention for any students who have food allergies, our dining team is wonderful about working with students individually to accommodate them. So if you need help getting connected to the dining manager and or dining team, you can start with Student Accessibility Services and we will help to get you connected.
Perfect. All right, I think I've gotten to most questions at this point. I'm just scrolling through to make sure I didn't miss any that moved sections on me here. There are a few left that we will certainly answer for you as we wrap up. There actually, yes, I think Kendra wanted to just clarify one thing. Or I'm sorry, Danielle, would you mind just out loud clarifying? There's some clarification on the box drop-off question, back to the boxes once again.
Yes. So in general, for that big date range of mid-July to mid-August, it is only the shipping of the 4 boxes. However, a program that began last year that we will be repeating this year is Griff's Drop-Off. And so on the afternoon of the 25th only, for first-year students only, and you'll get a ton of information about this, so just know that information is coming. On the afternoon of the 25th only, you'll be able to sign up for time slots to do a drop-off of items to your room, but that is the only time we will accept drop-offs. Otherwise, it is shipping only, but there will be one opportunity to do drop-offs prior to the big move-in day. If you are not participating in a pre-orientation and you are just doing move-in on the 27th, then you could do a pre-drop-off on the 25th only. And we'll have a lot more information coming out about signing up for those time slots and what that looks like very soon.
Amazing, thank you. That is new this year, so thanks for correcting me. And what we will do, just because there's been a few questions on this, but we won't have time to go in depth on it. For those folks who are asking what is welcome in the dorm rooms in terms of things like microwaves and fridges and things like that, there are lists that are both exist online that will be sent to you, absolutely. I'll see if maybe before we clear out here that if we can get the link in the chat, but if not, we will definitely be sending that to you at some point, and it exists on our website. In terms of moving forward, so naturally next, if you have any remaining questions or questions that pop up as you're doing some of these things over the next couple of weeks, please feel free to reach out to these respective offices. If I could actually ask all of you who are on screen to just take a moment and put in the chat right now the best email or phone number to reach your office at. Make sure to send it to everyone and not just hosts and panelists, please. That way, feel free to reach out to these folks. We're all here to be your resources as you're planning for this exciting time, slightly nerve-wracking time as you're planning to come to Emerson. So please feel free to reach out if you do have some of those particular questions. We will absolutely be in touch with you throughout the summer on all of these topics as well. But overall, we are very much looking forward to welcoming you to Emerson very, very soon. Thank you for joining us this evening. Keep in mind, if you do want to re-listen to this, it will be posted on our YouTube not that long from now, and will be emailed to you in about a week. But other than that, thank you for joining us, and we will look forward to not really seeing you at the next webinar, but seeing you soon. Take care, everyone.